Yes. It's letting me do it. Okay, we are live, people. So, yay! Jazz hands. Love it, love it. Thank y'all so much for being on here, for pouring into yourself to do what you need to do. This is a very exciting time in our future national area as we are coming together, as we are doing the work that it takes. And I actually have two separate trainings to cover with you because we have different people on this or that are going to watch the recording after the fact. And what I want you to ask yourself is, where am I and where are my gaps? Because we all have gaps. We all have that which makes us uncomfortable and that kind of thing. And we don't feel like we fully own the skill. So the first thing, so let's talk about the skills first. And this is actually going to be completely covered in totality on Saturday with the new consultant orientation. But in Mary Kay, there are basically 4 hard skills, and by hard skills I mean that they're tangible, tactile, they are things that you actually do. And then there are 3 soft skills, and those soft skills are thoughts that you have, things that you think, things, ways that you do things, not like the actual like selling the product, but like time management, things like that. So let's start by talking about what the skills are. First skill, booking. That is actually securing an appointment with a time and a place, whether it's Zoom, FaceTime, Messenger. There are so many ways to do it now. Oh my gosh, like you have to clarify all of that. Or face-to-face, what's the location? Is there a gate code that you need to get to be able to get in? All of that is a part of the booking with a date, a time, and a place. When you have that, you have a booking. When you don't have one of those pieces, you have a hopeful. Make sure that you have bookings. So that is bookings. That's one of the skills. The second one is coaching. Coaching is nothing more than communication to keep it on their radar in a logical way. You can do it in many, many different ways. For example, if it's a virtual appointment, one of the things that I do for coaching is I'll go, oh, hey, by the way, on Saturday at 10:30, if you could have a wet washcloth, pen, paper, and your cell phone handy, that would be great. Then the next day or 2 days later, oh, by the way, do you know how to Zoom? Next day, 2 days later, oh, quick question, did you have anybody, you know what I mean? Like it's a natural way to ask something, but every single time you're reaching out and touching base, what are they thinking? They're not like, here's what they're thinking. Oh, I need to have paper, pen, and, but here's what they're actually thinking. Oh, that's right, I've got that thing on Saturday at 10:30. That's the purpose. Because you think I can't just sit there and go, hey, sweetie, look, I know you're in your house. Your house probably has pen and paper. Go grab it. Of course I can do that. The coaching is to keep it on the radar in a normal, non-awkward way. Booking, scheduling a date, time, and place. Coaching, keeping it on the radar in a normal method so that it doesn't feel like that's what you're doing. Okay? Booking, coaching, selling the product. Whatever form of presentation that you have, doing that form of presentation. And a part of your presentation needs to have included in it a time for referrals, where you are going to see who else they know that would enjoy this type of event. A time for sharing a little bit about marketing, and a time to actually close their menu options, if you will. It's like a waiter coming to the table and going, hey, here's everything that we have available for you. And then they don't come back to see what you want. Like we totally expect it out of a waiter. They totally expect it out of you. There's not a whole lot of surprise at the end when you're like, here's what the menu is. Would you like to order off the menu? There's not shock on their part. Figure out how to say it in a way that's comfortable for you. Booking, coaching, selling, sharing the opportunity. So often people feel like, well, I said the thing whenever I was at the appointment, like I said it, and I even told about the options, like the $30, or they can do the, the additional bundle, the samples bundle, like I said it. It doesn't count. If they make a yes decision right then, it absolutely counts. They're solid. It's like, whatever. If they do not make a yes decision right there, I don't count it. And you're like, well, why would you count a yes? But if they don't make a yes decision, you don't count it. Because the yes is a fluke. The other is the norm. The yes is a blessing from God. That's a freebie. That's a woohoo. That's what that is. The norm is I am not thinking about making a business decision right there. That is not the inferno. That's somebody down there fanning the flames, trying to see if there's a fire to spark. If there's any kind of a spark, we're going to light it up. But we got to get the flame going. And that's what we're doing, is we're breathing on the fire, seeing if there is a flame to ignite. So that does not count as sharing. Like if it happens to go up in flames because there was already gasoline there, then great. But that is atypical. The typical is the embers have to catch. And then they have to catch the thing next to them. And then it all catches fire. So that requires a time to go through it with them. Now, I will tell you straight up and honest and for free. I have literally talked at the appointment and then discount and the car and then any question? Okay. So now, and then they're like, I would like to talk with you about it. And here's what I'm thinking in my head. There's absolutely nothing left to say. I have told you. But they need to hear it from a different headspace. Right then, they're thinking skincare. Right then, they're thinking supporting their friend. Right then, they're thinking free pampering. They're not thinking business decision. So then I come back and I have that almost exact same conversation in a different sitting where their headspace is this something I want to do? Could I possibly do something with this? Is that a discount that I would like to take advantage? It's a different headspace. It is a totally different headspace. How do I know this? Because when I was at my appointment with my consultant, I did not buy anything, not one thing. Why? Because I did not have the money. I had 4 small children at home and 3 of them were in diapers. I did not have the money. I joined, and 2 weeks later, I got a full store. Did I have fewer kids? No, nobody went anywhere. I didn't have money to purchase makeup. I did have money to build a business. It was a totally separate thought. Do not discount that. When they are at the appointment, most people are in the appointment mindset. Don't hesitate to ask. But if it's not a yes, then if they are open to getting back together with you, get them as quickly as possible. People recruit closest to the product. So that means that you are going to schedule that appointment absolutely either later on that day. If it's happening early, you can do it later on that day. If it's happening that night, do it the next day. People recruit closest to the product. Always has been, and most likely always will be. So that is sharing, going back and sitting down either with someone or with their significant other, whatever that needs to look like for them. And if you are comfortable in that space, having that conversation, absolutely do it yourself. If you are not comfortable yet, absolutely bring your director in. I will never forget, I was holding appointments, I was doing the thing, and I was like, you know, I was going to my success meetings and all of that. And I went to Ginger and I said, okay, so I need to learn how to do a sharing appointment. And she said, okay, schedule one with somebody. And I'm like, okay. And so we scheduled one, we did the lunch thing and all of that. And Ginger stepped through with them how we make our money. And when the person left, I don't even remember if they signed up or not, because that didn't matter. That wasn't my purpose. And when they left, I turned to Ginger and I said, that was a sharing appointment? I knew how to do that. I didn't know that that was a sharing appointment. Got it? Do you see what I mean? It's a different headspace. So if you are in the headspace where you're like, I can do it, or I can do this person. Sometimes we can do this person, but we cannot do this person. So why can we not do this person? They're family. They're not going to listen to you. They'll listen to this person. You know what I mean? Or they're a good friend. I cannot, oh Lordy, I cannot talk to them. Why? Because in this relationship, in the friendship relationship, there are boundaries. There are lines. Like, she knows that I do not have time to whatever. And then, you know, the director comes over and says, oh, I had 4 children. I ran my own personal daycare, and then I had to work my business around them. And they're thinking, I've got nothing, like, maybe I could. Or they're thinking, she doesn't know that that's a line. So she crossed over it, but it's because she didn't know it was there. And so they give the director grace, but it allows them to think a new thought. It is not that what you're doing is not correct. It is that all relationships have boundaries. Now, if it's somebody you don't know, then you don't have those. It's just the normal social ones. And so then they'll allow you to say some things. But if it's a close friend, you can't always say it. So that's why sometimes we have somebody else say the thing, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that you don't know what you're doing. It doesn't mean that, you know, you're not enough. It means that's a relationship that they will not hear it from you, and you need to call in someone else. Okay, book, coach, sell, share. Those are the hard skills. Now let's talk about the soft skills. The soft skills are time management. And that is going to be something like your weekly plan sheet, where you are mapping it out and you know what you're doing. There it is, weekly plan sheet. And so what that's going to do is that's going to show you on paper the times that you are booking, the times that you are coaching, the times that you are team building, the times that you are holding appointments, and you can look at it. And if there's not the amount on the piece of paper that is conducive with your goal, then you know that you have some adjusting to do. You either need to adjust your piece of paper to have more booking time to get the appointments filled, or you need to adjust your goal. Either one is fine, but when you are doing the appropriate level of work for the appropriate results, then you are okay with it. It's when you do not do the appropriate level of work for the goal that you get a little nutty. We all do. I've done all that y'all are doing. So it's when I wasn't doing the work required that I was like, I was feeling pressured. Therefore, I was putting pressure on other people because I had not done my part. Do you hear what I'm saying? Just being honest here. Like, I had not done my part. Therefore, I needed them. And therefore, it was not me holding them open-handed. And one of the things that I have learned is when my work was lower, my incentives needed to be higher. When my work was higher, my incentives were lower, like none. Why? Because I did the work. Like, they did the thing. I got the production needed. People were selling the product. We were moving it off the shelves. When the work was higher, incentives were lower, and vice versa. So be mindful of that. I even wrote notes to myself. I literally wrote this, like I can find it in my phone. I would much rather be exhausted from work than be frustrated and working to inspire people to do something that they are not ready to do. And that's just being honest about which one I would rather do. Okay, time management is about mapping it out on that piece of paper. Now, I will tell you that it can be very, very sobering. And by sobering, I mean embarrassing, because you're looking at it and you're like, I felt like I really did the work. And then you're looking at it and you're like, I really didn't. Now, you can beat yourself up, serves absolutely no purpose, or you can own it. I'm looking at it, I didn't do it, and then you choose. I either choose to stay with the level that I did, or I choose to increase my level. We all get to choose. And some people are like, well, I'm not going to choose. That is making a choice. When I say I'm not going to choose, then things will roll like they roll. Well, that was what you chose, because you chose not to do something different. Not choosing is choosing. No matter what you do, you are choosing what you're doing. So own that choice. And I will share with you, if there's one place to beef up, it is going to be bookings. Taking the time to contact the people to get the appointments on the books. Because if you have the selling down, but you don't have the appointments booked, you're not going to sell. You have nothing to sell. If you coach like a son of a gun, or you put it down on your calendar every other day so that, but you don't take the time to book, you have nothing to coach. There's nobody new to share with. It all comes back to booking. So if you're going to beef up one thing, if you want to triple time one thing, triple time the booking, because you will figure out the coaching. You will show up and hold it. You will sell the product. You will have new people to talk to. You will book them for the sharing appointment. But if you don't do the booking, you have nothing else. You have nothing else. So take the time, the maximum amount of time in the booking arena. Now, I will share with you that coaching is one of my strongest suits, one of my tightest suits. It used to be my weakest link, because I was like, I'm a person of integrity. If I say I'm going to be there, I'm going to be there. But the truth is, I didn't bother to look at the calendar, because if I said I'd be there at 5 o'clock, I will be there at 5 o'clock. I may be scrambling to get out the door, but I'll be there at 5 o'clock. Well, they didn't remember. It means way more to me than it does to them. To them, it's a free facial. Well, if people are going to pay $400 for an airplane ticket and not show up to that, you've heard it. Mr. Valahue, your plane will be leaving out of gate 9. Mr. Valahue, please board the plane now. Mr. Valahue's not coming. Okay? He paid $400 for the ticket and he did not show up. What makes me think that everybody's going to show up for my free facial? It's not going to happen. So I will coach so that I will be aware of someone not going to the appointment. So I will be aware and I will be in control. So what that looks like is, I don't wait until the last minute and then be like, I don't think they're going to. No, if somebody's not communicating on Thursday and Friday, and like if they stopped communicating back on Tuesday, like they were talking to me on Sunday, but then I skipped Monday and I talked to them on Tuesday and they didn't communicate. Reached out again on Wednesday and they didn't communicate. Thursday, I'm saying, and I do this, I say, you know what? I do not think that Saturday at 10:30 is going to be a good fit for you. Just touch back and we will get that rescheduled. I'm going to go ahead and take that off my calendar. I am in control of my time. They have already pretty much communicated that they're not going to get together with me. So rather than me increase my anxiety because I still hope that I have an appointment on the books, I take back my time. I take back my appointment. I book for that one again. But at the point that you're like, no, I don't think this is going to be a thing, then put up the communication that is respectful, but it takes back your time. Only one time have I ever had anyone, after I did that, respond back with a, and she said, oh, I still thought we were getting together, but I'm a teacher and I'm very swamped. And she went on to say a few other things. And I said, oh, I apologize. I did not realize that. And so I went ahead and held it, and she was absolutely as delightful as the snippet that I just shared with you. Yes, she was just that much of a gem. So let it be a sign. Be all right with it. Sometimes it's God's protection. You know what I'm saying? Like he's like, oh, sweet baby. I'm just going to save you your energy. And you're like, thank you. Okay. Money management. There are two schools of thought, and they're both correct. One is, if you'll watch the nickels, you'll have the dollars. That is correct. If you watch the nickels, you'll have the dollars. The other one is, it takes money to make money. That is correct too. Where's the line? You navigate it. You absolutely navigate it. But when you manage your time, you manage your paycheck. Money management is about stewardship. So take the time to manage your money. And I will share with you that I personally have 3 accounts. I have a business account, I have an inventory account, and that's where all of my sales go in and all of my orders come out. That all happens there. And then I have a taxes account, because when you get to a level that you are paying significant, you have to make significant money to have to pay significant money. Let's just be honest about that. Render to Caesar what's Caesar's. Well, I have to have a separate account for that. So those are my 3 accounts, and all of my commissions go into here, all of my sales go into here, and then I transfer from my commissions over to taxes. So that's my form of money management. Now, some people do a 60-40 split and all of that. Not money management, that level of detail is not my strength. So I have created a system that is effective for me. So I am sharing with you, do what works. And if you don't know what works, talk to your director. She will totally support you because she knows you. She knows, like, oh, you're super detailed. You totally love this stuff. Here's the formula. And then there are others of us who is like, can I just go put lipstick on somebody? Like, would that be okay? Like, it's not our jam. It's not our vibe. It does not give us energy. It depletes us completely. So know yourself and then handle the money accordingly. But if you need to break it out into different accounts, that's totally doable. Okay. And then the last one is emotional management. Emotional management is very important, because the skills that you learn in Mary Kay, you will utilize when you are absolutely working with your family, when you are absolutely in a discussion with your significant other, all of those things. It all is about managing your emotions. It's not about not having feelings, but it's about saying, I'm going to choose to honor them and honor myself. And it's about emotional management. And that's a whole different section, but basically those are the 4 things, the 4 hard skills and the 3 soft skills. So in thinking about those, if you are a newer consultant, you're going to work on the skills of booking your appointments and getting the referrals from those appointments, just like we had previously talked about, selling the product, booking the second appointment. I don't care who they are, you are going to work to book a second appointment. If they will do it with you and you alone, they will not invite friends, then I would recommend doing it 2+ weeks later so that they can have another paycheck come into the bank so that they can make some buying decisions with what they fall in love with. If they are open to having it with friends, then absolutely get introduced to all of their friends. Skincare, color, it gets them on more of the product line. But whatever that looks like, have them come back together and do the thing. Now, there are some people who just do the color appointments all in group appointments, and they happen once a month and everybody jumps on together. Whatever works for you. If you like connecting with people and you want closer connections and closer appointments, do that. There's not a right or wrong. This is not biblical truth. This is your personal vibe. And then the last thing is sharing, making sure that you share. Now, new consultants, I will tell you this, if you will practice the skill, not talent. Talent is God-given, skill is learned. If you will practice the skill of asking everyone, you will grow your team 2 times faster. If you will practice the skill of asking everyone, you will grow your team 2 times faster. You will double time your success. It is a skill. So some people are like, I'm going to pick the sparkler, which is great. Of course, you're going to pick the sparkler, but you're also going to pick everybody else. Everybody else will not say yes. Some will say no. Thank you so much for thinking of me. I'm going to pass, but thank you. And I'm like, no problem. I will totally take your money. Let's find out. Let's try it. Yeah. So, and I make a joke and make it okay. Like, I'll totally take your money. But if they say yes, I will share with you that I have someone on my team right now as we speak who has been in my unit for 21 years that did not speak to me for 18 years. It is not that she didn't like me. She just mailed in orders. Nothing. And I have never met her to this day. 21 years she's been in my unit. Okay, so I'm saying ask everyone. There are people that you never thought would join that joined. It was actually her daughter-in-law that recruited, and she recruited her. Ask everyone. Ask everyone. It will grow your team 2 times faster. Not everyone will say yes, but everyone that does, absolutely. Okay, to my seasoned consultants, I'm talking to you. Here we go. Probably the #1 challenge, I want you to ask yourself, is this true for me? Probably the #1 challenge is tracking. Tracking your results. Once you understand your numbers, it will take the emotion out of it, because we get frustrated because we feel like we're doing more and we should be seeing this. But when we track it, people will disappoint you, but the numbers never lie. When we track it, we know why we're seeing what we're seeing. When we track it, we know why we're seeing what we're seeing. I remember one time I was working, and I was like, I have got to have finished my Power Start. Like, whoo, if not, I am pretty dadgum close. We're about to punch it in. Don't do that either. Track as you go. That's when you have time to do something about it. Tracking back, that's a report that's showing. Don't do that. So I went back and I looked and I was like, that can't be right. That says I did 7 faces. It was right. So I felt like I had done 30, and I really did feel like I had done 30. Like if you'd asked me, we were pretty close. It was higher than 27. And I had actually done 7. I counted it 3 times. I was so like in disbelief. Track your numbers. Know what you're working with, and it will take out your emotion. Do it toward the beginning of the month. Track it as you go so that you're not trying to make up when there's not enough time left. Track as you go. Know your numbers. How many does it take for you to finish your Spark? How many does it take for you to add a new team member? Now, it may take Jasmine, whatever, 2 people, and she adds 1 new. And you're like, okay, I'm going to do 2 people and add 1 new, and it takes you 4. Don't be mad at Jasmine. Jasmine has her own thing. It's coming. I'm telling you, I've done this too long. She has her own thing. That's just not it. You need 4 to recruit 1. Well, now you know exactly what to do to get your goal. How many people are you away? Now you know how many. How many do I have to have? How do I have to have 5 to have 4 active? Do I have to have 6 to have 4 active? How many do I have to have the actives? That's another number you need to track and know so that you can appropriately adjust and help grow the team. And then how many do you need to hit the goal? So if you're on this call, it's because you have 2 goals. The first one is DIQ, the second one is director. DIQ is a separate goal. That one is 10 personals. Now, while you're building those 10, you're building your team members' teams so that when you hit that 10, you have more flooding through the gate. Mary Kay is absolutely speaking by putting the money there. When you go into DIQ with 2 red jackets on your team, you get a $200 bonus. When you exit DIQ with 2 red jackets on your team, you get a $200 bonus. Listen to where the money is. Mary Kay is shouting with dollar bills. They are taking $100 bills and they're rolling them into a megaphone and they are shouting at you with it. Look where the money is. Figure that out. People are like, oh, I'm not money motivated. I don't care if you're money motivated. It's going to tell you exactly where to work to create the strongest director, because that's what we really want. We want to be strong and confident. Strong and confident. Absolutely. Tracking helps us be stronger, because in the tracking, then we understand why we're seeing what we're seeing. And when we can understand that, it allows us to take the emotion out and do the work. I heard the best phrase the other day, and it was, suck it up, buttercup. Do the work. This is a business. Marion Forrest. She just was like, and she said it to herself, suck it up, buttercup. Do the work. This is a business. And I'm like, yeah, love it, love it, love it. So sometimes we have to be loving and kind to ourselves, and sometimes we have to tell ourselves to suck it up, buttercup. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, what we really want is to hit our goal in the timetable that we want. That's based on work. So what are the next deadlines coming up? The next one is the 15th. That's Star Consultant Quarter. That ends on the 15th. Watch for yourself, watch for your team members. The one after that is the 17th. That is the Star Consultant Bingo Party. That's at 7:00 p.m. Central Standard Time. And then later that evening at 8:30 is the Cindy Williams Red Jacket Christmas Party, where I'm going to be hosting. So absolutely know the dates and know what you have going. Oh, and the other thing that I forgot to mention is this upcoming Saturday, 9:00 to 11:00 is new Central Standard Time, is new consultant training. So guide your new people into there and support them in being confident, because it's not the person with the most skills that gets it done. It is the person who believes that they can that will get it done. Their skills can be low, their belief can be high, and the goal can be met. Just saying. So does anyone have any questions for me? Hang on. Somebody been chatting. Oh, thank you, Ginger, for making me an admin. Hey. All right. Okay, does anyone have any questions for me that either there was something that they didn't understand or need me to walk something else out?
I have some questions.
Yes, my love.
Okay. How do you balance scheduling the next appointments? So from that initial appointment, we've got a follow-up, because I don't want to, individual close right there with 5 different people on the Zoom. Right. So we've got to book a follow-up appointment to close it, a second appointment for color, and a sharing appointment. So how do you balance all of those things without overwhelming someone?
Okay, so I do not book a second appointment for the follow-up. What I do is, like, let's say I have 5 guests on. I will shoot each one of them a quick text. Hey, girlie, real quick, do you want to find out what you need? Do you want a phone call or a text? What are they going to say? Every single time. They're going to say text every single time. So I will literally be texting back and forth to 5 different people all at once. One of the things I have learned is put their name in the phone, like physically put their name. I used to not do that, but anyway, I don't have to explain why. Put their name or you'll get confused with your people. And then you, like, whatever your director taught you on how to close, that's what you're going to do. But that piece happens immediately after. And one of the things that I do to help them make a faster buying decision so that they don't drag it out is when I send them the close sheet, because they're readers, they can read it. And I say, this is your 24-hour steal of a deal. 24 hours, steal of a deal. And so then they know that they have 24 hours to take advantage of those deals that I'm offering, which keeps it from dragging out over the course of a week while they're like, oh, I don't know, like, let me see, I need to see what my bills are. Also, that allows me later on the next day to reach out and say, hey, Jasmine, real quick, just wanted to let you know you've got a couple of hours left to take advantage of your 24-hour steal of a deal, and put it back on the radar. If they do not communicate at all, that's their answer. I don't have the money, or it's not going to work. Like, that's fine. You don't have to keep reaching out and all of that stuff. But then once I've done that 24-hour steal of a deal, then I pivot to the next thing. And that's when I would book the second appointment. And if they close out that night that you held the appointment, we'll book it right then. If they do it the next day, we'll book it then. Just like in my head, okay, so I would get confused and overwhelmed. So I do it one step at a time. We close the appointment, we book the second appointment, we book the sharing. Now, I'm going to book the second appointment way over there, but I'm going to book the sharing right here. Okay? Because how do I book that second appointment way over there? I go, okay, and are you still wanting a weeknight or a weekday? Oh, I mean a weekend. Weekend? Okay, great. My next available is way over there. That's how you do that. Is you say, my next available is, and then you say, great, let's do it. Okay, now, I would like to share with you a little bit more, and you can either offer a gift or you can offer a discount at that second appointment, whatever you want that to look like. And then you book that one for the next day, later on that evening, quick as possible, quick as possible. Did that answer that question?
Yes, that helps a lot.
Good.
I have one more. Do you have a texting service or something that you send your messages through for coaching, or do you just personally send all of those?
Okay, so I do have a texting service, but not for coaching. My texting service is whenever I want to reach out to all of my customers at one time. Whenever I'm doing coaching, I do it personally.
Okay.
And some people don't. And the reason I do is you have to know yourself. I'm huge on that. And like sometimes people will send it and they'll be like, we already booked an appointment. And they're like, oops, my bad, and they're like totally okay with that. And I'm like, oh, I think I threw up in my mouth a little bit. Like, that's very upsetting for me. Like, I cannot, that's like not good for me because in my heart of hearts, I just really went, sweet love, I don't care about you. You're a number to me. That's how it feels to me. That's how it feels to me. It's not how it is, but that's how it feels. And so I protect my heart from living that. Now, other people can totally do the other thing and it doesn't bother them and they are able to work with higher numbers and all of that. Nothing in the world wrong with that. Please do not hear me say that it's wrong. That is wrong for me. That is wrong for me. So I work like laser focus, and I get great results. If you're doing the laser focus and your results are in the toilet, well, sister, figure it out. But if you can get great results doing it that way, then do it, because it's working within my value system and it's working within who I am, and God is blessing it. And so it's working. But if it's not working, you need to do something different. Call it real, figure it out, because you can still work within your value system and get great results. You just have to ask some more questions with your director, or have some different ideas, think a different thought. Something needs to change. Straight true to you. Any other questions? Well, thank you, Shar. I'm just going to take a real quick look. Okay, got it. Any other questions, anybody? Okay. I love y'all. I'm so excited to have you join the Sisterhood of Directors. You are going to love it, because it is amazing. Everybody give me kisses.
Love you. You're the best. Rock it out.
Love you.
Amazing, Maureen.
Amazing.